Welcome back to another sugarcane update and an update on all my plants. Today I gave the sugarcane plant a little clean up. I trimmed away the old brown dried leaf sheaths that were wrapped around the tiny healthy stalk. Removing that dead material helps improve airflow and makes it easier to inspect the plant and lets the healthy growth shine through. The best part, we now have 2 new pups, side shoots, emerging from the base. That's a great sign the plant's actively growing and establishing itself. As these pups mature, they'll eventually become full sugarcane stalks, making the pot look fuller over time. A cool fact about sugarcane is that it's actually a giant tropical grass, not a tree. It can grow over 10 feet, which is 3 meters tall under the right conditions, and a single healthy plant can produce multiple stalks from the same root system. Another interesting fact is that about 70 to 80% of the world's sugar comes from sugarcane, with the rest mainly coming from the sugar beets. The fibrous leftovers after crushing the cane, called bagasse, are often used to produce renewable electricity and paper products instead of going to waste. There's a fun way to enjoy fresh sugarcane, but here's a few to name. Chew on peeled sugarcane for its natural sweet juice, and to make fresh sugarcane juice with a squeeze of lime and a little bit of ginger. You can also freeze the juice into refreshing popsicles and add sugarcane juice to tropical smoothies or mocktails. And here's my Mizuyuki. She's putting out another brand new leaf, and it's always exciting to watch. Every banana leaf starts out as a tightly rolled spear before slowly unfurling into a large, huge tropical leaf. It's one of my favourite parts of growing bananas because you can often see visible progress every few days during the growing season. But it's winter now and I'm still trying to make it grow. Bananas are some of the heaviest feeding plants you can grow. They need lots of nutrients to produce those huge leaves and eventually flowers and fruit. That's why I've been making my own homemade compost to help feed Miss Yuki naturally. Instead of throwing garden waste away, I recycle it into compost. I use things like tropical leaves that I've had to prune, grass clippings, rhubarb leaves and old stems, tomato plants after harvest, fruit and vegetable scraps from the kitchen, often soft garden trimmings that will break down over time, but also not forgetting to put your carbon in there too, so you can add cardboard, toilet rolls that are empty. You can add those to it too, which helps your nitrogen to carbon ratio. And the secret is keeping the compost balance. I mix fresh green materials with dry brown materials so the pile stays aerated and breaks down properly. If your compost has a nice fresh earthy smell, that's a great sign it's healthy. If it starts smelling sour or rotten, it usually needs more air or more dry material mixed in. Over time, all of those garden leftovers turn into rich dark compost that's packed with organic matter. It helps improve the soil, holds moisture, feeds beneficial microbes, and slowly releases nutrients that hungry plants like bananas love. But here's a fun fact. Banana plants aren't actually trees. They're the world's largest herb. What looks like a trunk is really a tightly packed bundle of leaf bases called a pseudostem. After a stem produces fruit, it naturally dries back while new pups take over, allowing the plant to keep growing year after year. Making your own compost also helps reduce waste, saves money on fertilizers, and gives your plants a natural nutrient boost. It's a simple way to turn garden trimmies and kitchen scraps into something incredibly valuable. My ice cream bean plant, the Inga edulis, has just put out another beautiful fuzzy new bud for a leaf and now has 4 leaves in total. I'm keeping my indoor tropical plant room between 20 to 25 degrees, which is 68 to 77 Fahrenheit. So all of my tropical plants are thriving in the warm conditions and absolutely loving it. This plant was actually exceptionally hard to get started and get that new growth to continually grow, as it goes dormant if it gets too cold. So, this is my Hoya carnosa elbow marginata. It has finally produced a flower bud after growing, and the reason why I know it's a flower bud is it's got a little bit of a pink tinge to it. Rather than it also a normal formation of a leaf, it kind of has this diamond arrow look to it. But anyway, I started from a rooted cutting and I've had it for about 2 years. It has grown so much since I first got it, and this little bud is definitely, the start of my flowers. One important thing about Hoyas is that you don't want to cut off the flower stalks, the peduncles. The same flower spur will often produce blooms again and again from the exact same spot each time the plant flowers. I can't wait till this opens because I have starlight flowers, and if anyone knows anything about me, my middle name's Star, and I love the symbolism behind stars themselves. And this is my beautiful Oncidium orchid again. It now has several new growths developing and plenty of healthy aerial roots. It's definitely loving its care and definitely loving its spot in the bathroom, as I didn't want to put it in full sun on the west side of the house where it gets the full sun. This orchid is now mature, and I'm patiently waiting and hoping that one of these new growths finally produces a flower spike instead of another pseudo bulb. It's been amazing watching this orchid put out so much growth, but fingers crossed for bloom soon, please. Because the sun comes from east to west from where I am, I like to put it in the west facing window as it gets a partial amount of sun and it doesn't harm the leaves and the orchid itself and dry it out too much and hurt it. And here's my quick orchid update on the Phalaenopsis orchids. They have started growing new leaves at the same time, and seeing the fresh growth is always a great sign that they're healthy, happy, and enjoying their care conditions. I am clearly doing something right by choosing the windows I do. I love watching these beautiful orchids grow in all of my plants, and hopefully the new leaves mean plenty of energy for future flower spikes too. I'm going to ask anyone who's watching this video, does your orchids need extra care? What's some issues that you have with orchids, and do your Phalaenopsis orchids or any of your orchids have new growth at the moment? Let me know down below in the comments.